I watched her laughing with someone else. Not just a polite grin or a casual chuckle, but the kind of laugh that shakes your whole body. The kind that once was reserved for me. They sat together on a bench outside what used to be our coffee spot. The coincidence stung. I was standing across the street, half hidden by the crowd, and the drizzle beginning to fall. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. I thought the ache had finally dulled. Thought time had numbed it. But there it was, sharp, raw, alive. I didn't recognize the guy. Tall, sure of himself. He said something that made her laugh again. And I watched her tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, the way she always did when nerves got the better of her. I knew that habit. I knew all her little tales. At least I used to. And that's what hurt the most. Realizing someone else was now learning the small secret parts of her. The tilt of her voice when she's excited. The guilty smile she gives after adding an extra spoon of sugar to her coffee. I tried to turn away, tried to move on, but my legs wouldn't listen. Memories slammed into me. Nights we spent talking until the city went to sleep. Her laughing at the ridiculous songs on my playlist. Mornings when she would dance barefoot in the kitchen, hair messy in face, still half asleep. I remembered holding her close the night she lost her dog. How she sobbed against me like I was the only thing keeping her from falling apart. It wasn't all perfect. God, far from it. We argued about the stupidest things. Laundry left unfolded. Lights left blazing in every room. But even in the fights, even in the chaos, there was still a sense of home, until one day it started to unravel. Threads pulling loose one by one. She said I wasn't listening anymore. Said she felt alone even when I was sitting right next to her. Maybe she was right. Maybe I thought we were unbreakable. One evening, she just looked at me and said, "I don't think we're growing together anymore." I didn't argue. Maybe part of me already knew. We said we'd stay friends. But silence filled up the spaces where conversations used to live, and eventually we became nothing more than familiar strangers. So there I stood, rain soaking through my jacket, watching her smile in a way that no longer belonged to me. And I told myself it was okay. She was happy. And isn't that what love is supposed to want for the person you love, to find her smile again? I was about to walk away when she looked up right at me, right through the downpour in the crowded street. Her smile faltered for just a beat, like she'd seen a ghost. Me. The one who once knew every hidden corner of her heart. The one who almost asked her to stay forever but waited too long. For a second, everything around us faded. No cars, no rain, no noise. Just two people caught in the ruins of someone that once was. I should have kept walking. I should have let her stay a memory. But instead, my feet moved toward her before my mind could stop them. She stood, said something quickly to the guy next to her. He looked puzzled, and then she started crossing the street toward me. She didn't bother with an umbrella. She let the rain soak her through. And somehow that made her even more beautiful. Wild, unfiltered, real. We met in the middle of the sidewalk. For a second, it felt like even the sky was holding its breath. "Hi," she said, her voice soft and uncertain. "Hey," I answered, barely more than a whisper. She dropped her gaze, then lifted it back to mine. "I didn't know you were in town." "I'm not just passing through." I lied. She nodded slowly. Silence wrapped around us, thick and heavy. Then she asked, "How have you been?" My mind raced through all the things I could say. All the sleepless nights, the empty spaces, the moments I nearly called her but didn't. But all I managed was, "Okay." "You hesitated," she said gently. "Better now." I admit it. The words hung there, trembling between us. "I saw you laughing." I blurted out. "And I saw you looking," she whispered. There was a long pause. Then she stepped closer, almost like she was afraid I'd disappear. She didn't. "I think about you," she said, voice cracking. "Sometimes a lot. Especially when I'm with someone else and it feels wrong." I swallowed hard. "You never called." "I know." She nodded, blinking back tears. "But I never stopped hoping I'd run into you. Somewhere, somehow." I looked away. Not because I doubted her, but because I didn't trust myself not to believe her completely. "Are you happy?" I asked. She gave a small shrug. "I'm trying." but he doesn't know me. Not the way you did. I wanted to tell her how long it took to stop waiting for her messages, how every room still echoed with her absence, but instead I simply asked why now. She gave a sad little smile. Because when I saw you, I remember what real felt like. The rain was relentless now, drenching everything around us, but we didn't move. You're still my favorite, she said, voice trembling. And then she whispered, what if she didn't finish the thought? She didn't have to. I understood. Maybe this was a reunion. Maybe it was just a fleeting moment, a glimpse of what was or what might still be buried beneath all the time and hurt. Maybe we'd talk again. Or maybe this was all we were ever going to get. But standing there in the storm, I realized something. Real love doesn't always vanish. It lingers, hides. It waits for the right moment to resurface. Sometimes in the middle of the city, sometimes in the middle of the rain when you least expect it. And if they ever find their way back to you, don't be afraid to stop. Even if it's just